Welcome back to the xoMAN Podcast. Today, I am joined by Emanny or Emanny. I asked him multiple times which one, and he said I could use both. So here we are with both. Anyway, Emanny is a R&B singer, and I enjoyed talking to him about his journey through love, music, and artistry, and what it is that he's looking for. Take a listen. How would you describe yourself if we had to build you a dating profile? What would you say you're looking for? What would you say you're interested in?
That sometimes I can shut people out when I'm going through things. You know, we did the red flag, green flag.
Mm-hmm. You were a lot of red flags.
A lot of red flags. And sometimes it takes for you to lose certain things in life for you to like wake up and say, okay, it's time to just move a little different. Mm-hmm. I think true loss is the biggest thing. I think love is love, no matter who you find it with, no matter what circumstances you find it with. I think as long as you're moving on that, I don't care who you find it with. Like that should always be first. Like if you're in love with this person, you should be able to move mountains with them. Like you should be able to do whatever you need to do to make that relationship work.
Which do you think actually worked better for you in the long run? Somebody always being there to catch you when you fall? Or do you kind of wish that you had more falls so that you could have figured things out alone?
I'm big on balance, so I think I needed both. I think for the man that I am today and who I'm working on continue to become, I wish I would have felt more.
Welcome to the xoMAN Podcast. I'm your host, Kiara Walker. They say men don't talk. They hold it all in, never let their guard down. But here, we like to do things differently. I sit down with Black men from all walks of life, actors, singers, entrepreneurs, athletes, and everyday guys to peel back the layers of who they are beyond the stereotypes. A space where Black men get to be real, raw, and unfiltered. We're talking about relationships, love, success, struggles, fears, and the parts of masculinity that don't always get the spotlight. Some conversations will challenge what you think you know. Some might make you laugh, and some might just make you look at the men in your life a little differently. So whether you're here to learn or just hear some dope conversations, you're in the right place. So pull up, listen in, and let's have the conversations that matter. It's time for the xoMAN Podcast to begin. Well, you guys, welcome back to the xoMAN Podcast. I am your host, Kiara Walker, and we have a very special guest today. We have podcaster and R&B singer, Emanny. Welcome to the xoMAN Podcast. Now, did I say your name right?
You did. You said it right when you said it.
Well, what's right and what's wrong?
Okay, so my mom and dad named me Emanny. That is my name.
Okay.
When I started doing music, people would mess it up just off of how it was spelled. So I had people call me Emanny. I had people call me Emanny. I had people call me Emanny.
Emanny?
Yeah, they was messing it all up. So at a certain point, I kind of like the sound of Emanny. It sounded more like an artist name. And I kind of just stuck with it. So literally there's a proper way of saying my actual name, and then there's a proper way of saying my artist name.
Okay, so your artist name
is Emanny. But I have no problem with calling me Emanny at all.
You better than me, because my name is Kiara, and my mama named me Kiara, and people need to call me Kiara. A lot of people will say things like Kiara, and I've heard like Kyra before, and I just think that person probably learned how to read like the kids are learning now. I don't know, because it's
in honor of my parents, because my parents are no longer here with us. So
okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
What they named me, we can go with Emanny today.
Okay. Now I'm going to be going back and forth in my head all day about that.
It's
anyway,
okay.
I do want to hear something about your upbringing. But before we get into that, we're going to play a quick game of red flag, green flag with Emanny/Emanny. So, first one, they're friendly with all of their exes.
No.
It's not.
No.
It's not a red flag.
That's a red flag.
Oh, it is a red flag.
Yeah.
You had that situation before, huh? Let me put a little asterisk by that. We'll come back to it. Okay. They don't They don't have a social media presence at all.
That could be both. I'm
Right.
gonna lean towards green flag.
Okay. They take all day and sometimes multiple days to respond to a text from you.
Red flag.
Or they text all the time but never picks up the phone and calls.
Red flag.
Never initiate sex.
Red flag.
Wants sex way more than you. You gotta think about that one, huh?
Yeah, because that could be a green flag depending on I'll lean with green flag.
Okay. Hasn't been in a serious relationship in more than 5 years.
Green flag.
Why green? Nobody ever says green.
I think typically when I hear people who take that long of a time being single, it's usually because they're actually trying to work on themselves and they're not just looking for love. Like they're actually looking for an actual partner, someone that they can build with. I watch people go from one relationship to the next, and it never feels like it's an actual personal thing. It feels like they're just out there searching for love instead of searching for it sounds like the person who's just in love with the idea of love.
Somebody who might be addicted to love in relationships and not necessarily the person.
What love really is.
Or what?
Or you have like a real confusion of what love really is.
Exactly. I hope y'all are listening to that. Now, let's see. Keeps their phone on Do Not Disturb.
Red flag.
She calls you bruh.
Red flag.
She says, I don't usually date podcasters, but I think I can give you a chance.
Red flag. Because that means she done dated all the podcasters.
Or she thinks y'all talk too much.
Well,
Records herself crying and posts it on social media.
Red flag.
Constantly critiques your music and your appearance on any and every podcast in the name of constructive criticism.
I think that's a green flag.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me circle that. We'll come back to it. Okay. She doesn't text you back for like 3 days, right? After a date, you tell her goodnight, you send her a text, whatever. She doesn't text you back for like 3 days, but she has been liking all of your stories, replying to the stories, liking your posts, commenting all up and down social media.
That's a burgundy flag. If we can get one of that, yeah, that's red.
Okay, she asked for your zodiac sign within the first 5 minutes of the first date.
Red flag.
So I take it if she asked your birth time and location too, that's gonna be a.
I swear to you, and I wish I could bring. My friend is here with me. I literally just showed her earlier. Someone DMing me that exact thing. They asked me to send my.
Yeah. Had y'all been flirting back and forth?
A little bit.
Okay.
But that to me is just like, all right, you want to read my zodiac? I don't need all that. That's
yeah.
scary.
She's trying to see into your soul before y'all even made it out the DMs. Yeah. Okay. She has multiple close guy friends who are like brothers.
Red flag.
Now, why'd you have to sit up on that one?
3 red flag.
What's wrong with that?
I have a problem with women who have a hard time getting along with women. I think women who lean more towards that guy energy typically lack a certain level of femininity that I need to balance me out.
Okay, well, since we're here at that point, how would you describe masculinity?
That's a good question. I mean,
and if you can't put it like in a sentence, you could give us some examples or some traits of something that would make someone masculine.
Masculinity, I would say strength on a physical level, that's typically, I don't know why that's the first thing that comes to mind. Protector, provider. I don't want to be chauvinistic, but I do think I know for me, I do attach masculinity to just the male species. I just do. We've always been taught, and maybe it's not always a positive thing, but we've always been taught to be masculine, to exude strength, to exude domination, or just a level of confidence that's needed to move within this world. And confidence on a different level, because you can be very feminine and still exude confidence, but it's just a different level of confidence day to day that we are told to exhibit when you're a masculine man.
Okay, and then what would you say are like some feminine traits? Whether you like them or not, it doesn't have to be stuff that you like, but feminine traits.
Let me preface, I do think both man and woman need to exhibit a certain balance of both.
Okay.
So I do think vulnerability, a level of sensitivity, I do think a level of compassion are some of those feminine traits that men should learn how to exhibit. Emotional intelligence. Just being a little bit more in touch with your inner self than your outer presence.
So it's really like all the things about your feelings, you attach those to femininity, anything in your soul, and then how you move on a day-to-day, your outward body, and just how you have to show up without getting deep. That's more masculine. So like with that woman that you were just talking about, she might be a little too masculine for you, for the type of woman that you need. You feel like, would you say she has too much of the masculine traits or just not enough of those feminine traits? She's not open. She's not vulnerable.
So now that we're speaking about it, I'll attach 2 words to each. Masculine, okay. I attach logic. Feminine, I attach feelings. And I think for anyone to be balanced as a person, you have to exhibit both. I'm not saying that, and I don't attach femininity to women. I don't. Because like I said, I think you have to exhibit both. I do think that you need to have a balance. So anytime I think of masculinity, I think of logic versus feelings.
Feelings. Now, none of those traits really had anything to do with logic. Did you realize that?
Which one?
The masculine traits. Can you think of something that would show like logic, a trait maybe? Or an example of masculine logic, so we can understand what that is?
You might have me stumped at the moment. I can't give you an adjective. I do think that as people, and I'm just speaking as a man, I just think there's certain things in life that you experience that you would love to be able to place with words that you just can't. It's just something that it's an innate thing that you're either born with or just have an inner understanding. I do think that's something that you might be able to learn within experiences, but for me, it's just either you got it or you don't.
Okay. Well, we are going to wrap up the red flag, green flags. Since we've already started discussing, what Emanny thinks of masculine and feminine traits and characteristics and all that good stuff, I want to talk a little bit more about you just as a regular person. So where are you originally from?
Born and mostly raised in the Bronx, New York.
Okay.
I moved around a lot though. My mom was the type, she see a roach or a mouse in the house, we out. So we moved a lot. And anybody in the Bronx, if there's one thing you're going to get a mouse or a roach in the house. So we moved a lot. From there, moved on from Queens. And at a certain point, I went out on my own and I lived in so many different places. It's almost weird because I am a New Yorker, but I feel like I've just had so many homes that I don't have like a block to claim as my own.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever people ask me, it's like, oh, where are you from? It's like, listen, I'm from New York.
Oh yeah,
I
and
don't,
y'all are real specific in New York with like what part? Because I'm like, you're moving around, but
yeah,
you're in the Bronx.
yeah. So, I'm a Lincoln Hospital baby. That's the South Bronx. But, I've had neighborhoods in Queens that have taken me in as a part of that. I've had neighborhoods in Harlem have taken me in as a part of the block. So,
Mm-hmm.
I just rep New York.
Now, growing up, do you have siblings? Did you live with both of your parents? What was that like for you?
The very beginning was me and my sisters, older. Well, I have an older brother as well, but he was running around. He was doing his thing. But it was me and my older sister and my little sister. I
Mm-hmm.
and my mom and
What's the
dad in the
age
house.
gap?
Older sister would be about close to a 10-year age gap, and then my little sister about 5 years, 6 years difference. I am literally the gold standard for middle child. Uh, I've experienced that in so many different ways, but it was good. It was good, and then at a certain point, when mom and dad split, it became, you know, reality kicks in, and
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of that having to fend for self starts to happen, and the disconnect between the norms of family start to get changed. So,
The disconnect from who or between who?
just from the norm of what I thought family was, even before that, we might have had issues within the household, but for me, the unit was mom was coming home, dad was coming home, and that was the norm for me and seeing. And then when that wasn't the case anymore, it was a readjustment to, all right, what does this new family structure look like? And then at that point, I'm now the only, you know, boy energy in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm now feeling like I have to now cater to the women of the home because that was the dominance and and uh
Mm.
and just growing up and seeing. So I didn't really, I think at about 11 years old, 12 years old, I didn't know what the male figure in the household looked like anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
that
now,
was,
did you still see your dad, even though he wasn't
I did,
there with
I
you?
did, I did. There was some levels of disconnect because, he's now going through the motions and trying to figure out now what life looks like for him and not being a part of that. So it was a lot. It was a lot, but I think we all tried to adjust how we could. The
Mm-hmm.
best ways we knew how to. My oldest sister was like a rock. She at a certain point, while mom and dad were trying to figure out life, she became kind of like that figure, like almost the
Mm-hmm. Like
mom
a second mom.
figure. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Even to this day, like she for me was like, all right, mom isn't maybe reachable, so I can always rely on Monique, my older sister, to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
it
can
was
be
it was different.
tough. What did they teach you, the neighborhood and your father, about like becoming a man and dating and responsibilities? What were those lessons like when you were a kid?
Um, the world is cruel, and at any point in life, you have to be able to rely on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the gift and the curse of having three women in the household was no matter what I went through, I could always rely on them to be there. My
Mm-hmm.
mother was my uh, greatest protector, and also my greatest crutch. Like
Mm-hmm.
she protected me in ways that even when I messed up, and even when I needed to fall on my butt,
Mm-hmm.
she wouldn't let it happen. And so my sisters as well. Uh, the street and the other guy figures were kind of like, no, fall, and I'm not picking you up. You
Mm-hmm.
figure it out. So that was the difference in the energies and the responses.
Which do you think actually worked better for you in the long run? Somebody always being there to catch you when you fall, or do you kind of wish that you had more falls so that you could have figured things out alone?
I'm big on balance, so I think I needed both. I will say that I think for the man that I am today and who I'm working on continue to become, I wish I would have felt more.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have felt more because there's certain things that I went through that I really weren't prepared for at all.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that not being prepared for it was because I was often protected by those women.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I needed it though. I needed it, and they knew I needed it. So I don't think I would have gotten this far without some of that protection.
Yeah, I'm always curious when I speak to men who have sisters, older sisters. I'm an older sister. My little brother is 13 years younger than me, I think. And he has another sister that's 11 years older. He's the baby of the family, and he's the only boy. So you know he's a little spoiled. We all know he's my mama's favorite. And sometimes it feels like, and it's because I'm an adult now and he's in his early 20s, but I talk to my mom and I'm like, sometimes it seems like y'all kind of coddle him. Are you ever fearful? She is so overprotective, but I get it. Like, if that's your kid, I would only imagine what it feels like to watch them struggle or go through stuff. But sometimes they need to. And I'm like, girl, you need to help him so he's not clueless in this world.
It's very true. On my mom's side, I had an older brother, and he passed very young. So I 100% understood. I was my mom's favorite. Like, I know.
I already knew it. You the only boy?
Yeah. So at that point, I think in just us losing him, she was just on. Like, I was it. It. She gave me a little bit more a leeway and a little bit more protection than she did my sisters, and they hated it.
Yeah, I had to figure out a lot of things. I've always had a lot of responsibilities, and I'm glad it's worked for me, because the advice and what you were taught, those life lessons, I totally agree. Now, you said that you've lost both of your parents. How old were you when you lost your father?
My father was 2014.
Okay.
So it was early 30s.
That wasn't that long ago.
No, my mom was last year around this time. So that is like funny enough, I feel like I'm learning so much about myself. I don't think I would have been able to admit these things until actually losing her.
Really?
Like, I didn't see a world where I wouldn't have her around to like protect me in moments where I need the protection. So losing her, and to be very honest with you, I still don't have that feeling of her being gone. Like, when my dad passed, I knew he was gone. I felt it the moment he left. It hit. With my mom, she still lingers in ways that I feel like mentally I still need just to be okay in certain senses. So now to walk around and really feel like that parentless child, because at this point I am, it really gives you an outlook on the world that I don't recognize. Like, I don't know what this world looks like without having parents. So for the past year, it's been like a little rude awakening, and a lot of leaning on other people who either give me that feeling of protection or that feeling of true understanding that only a parent can give you.
Now, you're a father too, right?
Yes.
How old are your kids?
15, 11, and 7.
You got 3. And girls or boys?
All boys.
Oh my goodness. Lots of testosterone. What did your dad, before he left, what did he teach you about fatherhood?
The one thing he did teach me, and it's another gift and curse. He taught me, in response to just raising kids. The one thing I will say about my dad, I never saw him talk bad about anyone, no matter what was going on. He was always a stand-up man. He was always someone that if he couldn't do it, he'll let you know, I can't do it. If he can, he gonna do it without you even having to ask. And that just came from friendship, parenting, everything. When I could count on him, I knew he was gonna be there. If he could not supply me with something, he told me, no, I can't do it. And that to me was important when it comes to not just fatherhood, but just dealing with people in general. So I never really had a moment of disappointment with him as a character. Like, there was never a moment where I questioned his character as a man. And that's the one thing I want to really pass. Like, be a man of character. Be the person that if you say you're going to be this, there's no shortcuts. There's no cheating yourself to seem a certain way to people. Be who you say you are.
What do you teach your sons about dating, especially since you got a 15-year-old?
Oh, I'm going through that with him now. I try to preach upon him not to make some of the mistakes that I made without letting him know that I made them.
Now, see,
I,
why do y'all do that, parents? I don't understand. Please enlighten me. Why would you choose to teach your kid a lesson about so that they avoid going through what you went through, but you won't tell them that you did it?
okay, so my son knows that I dropped out of high school. I dropped out
Okay.
in 11th grade. 11th grade, I was like, I'm going to be an artist. I'm getting out of this. I'm tired. I don't want to be here. Right. I regret doing that. First off, it was lazy. I 100% was a smart kid. I could have done it.
Yeah.
My son got to a point where I could recognize that same level of I don't want to be here. And I had shared with him that, I dropped the album. He said, well, Dad, you seem to be doing okay. And well, why is it okay for you to do it? And it's like, no, I don't need you to try to pattern yourself off of the things that I did. I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I was able to go ahead and figure this out. And a part of figuring out was just being able to circle myself with good people. That's not with everyone. So I would much rather you go this other route than try to pattern yourself behind me. And I think that's why I keep certain things from him. And when he gets older, we'll have that conversation of, yeah, your dad was out here wilding out a little bit and maybe messing around with the wrong women. But right now, at this tender age,
So, okay, you're avoiding telling him some of the things that you have experienced to steer him away from that. What are those things when it comes
um,
to dating?
if I can be very blunt, I was a fast butt. I was a little HOE,
Okay.
and not for any reasons outside of just trying to impress people and feeling like I needed to keep up with my counterparts and
The
just the whole
neighborhood.
the ego that goes with just growing. Um, I don't want him to ever live off of his ego. I want him to be a confident man. I want him to grow to be someone of character and exude a certain level of confidence. But I don't ever want him to feel like he needs to move off of ego. And everything I did in my past that ended up being certain mistakes was either a lack of confidence or just too high of a ego.
And at what point in your life did you realize that's what was going on?
If I'm being very blunt, it might have been about maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
What happened?
Uh, loss of genuine love, finding it, still not really being able to really treat it with the care needed, kind of being arrested in certain developments emotionally, uh, commitment wise. The whole thing of, I'm not a bad guy just because I go ahead and do this and this and that. It's not, it doesn't really speak to me as a person. Um, and sometimes it takes for you to lose certain things in life for you to like wake up and say, okay, it's time to just move a little different. I think true loss is the biggest thing for me at least.
Now, do you go to therapy at all to ever deal with
Um,
anything that you're going through?
I have not done so thus far. I've entertained wanting to do so. I think that's also a process. Finding someone you feel comfortable enough to really divulge those deep, dark things that someone will be able to get you to understand and get a grasp of. It's a process. I do think at some point I will do that, but I don't want to force myself to go sit with anyone just for the sake of sitting with someone.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody one day and I was like, therapy, mental health, all of that is like, these are these buzzwords that people are using. And now everybody wants to go talk to the lady for the sake of talking to the lady, but they're not really getting any help, or they're in there lying or whatever else, or they're saying that they're going and they're not. And it's
Yeah.
just because it's like the emotionally intelligent thing to do.
Yes.
People are switching up their game plan when
Yeah.
they're trying to date.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so I want to go back to your careers, because you've got two. Now, I heard you say that you want to drop out of high school, or you did drop out of high school, and you wanted to pursue music. When did you know you wanted to get into music?
I know a lot of people say that they don't remember. I remember the exact moment. I could tell you the place I was living on Bryant Avenue in the Bronx. My sister was home watching us. My mom and dad had a vinyl player, and I popped in the Wiz soundtrack, and there was a song called "You Can't Win" by Michael Jackson, and I played it over and over and over and over again, and I learned how to sing that song, and that's when I was like, I want to do this. I want to sing.
And so, who was the first person that you told that this is what you want to do?
My oldest sister.
What was her response?
She danced. She was 100% open to any level of. She was a cheerleader. Like, you can do this. And when I was trying to figure out, okay, I need to learn how to dance too, she was a really good choreographer. So she would come learn this. And we would take songs, and she'll make routines, and she'd be like, let me just see if it's good. If you can learn it, then I know I can go ahead and teach it. Yeah. She was big influence on me just feeling comfortable doing it. Mom was too.
And so was it always R&B that you wanted to pursue, or did you play around with different genres?
There was moments where I tried to rap. I was a big Bone Thugs and Harmony fan, and I thought I was going to be the 6 member of Bone Thugs. That was very short-lived, but honestly, it's just always been R&B. I love R&B.
So who are some of the artists that you grew up listening to that have inspired your music, or that you just really love?
I mean, Michael Jackson is, God for me in music. Prince, of course, Stevie, Donny Hathaway, some of the newer guys that, not newer, but this generation's Usher. Usher for me is like OG, big inspiration. Neo, I love Neo's music. I was just a fan of vulnerability, and I felt like all of those artists on so many different levels they exuded that swag of an R&B singer. But when it was Babyface is another one. There's another person, but I won't name. They just have that thing. They had a great balance of being able to be the ladies' man who could go outside and get a woman, and then also exuding that level of I'll cry for you to come back home that I always wanted to have about myself musically.
Did you ever have a moment throughout your whole life of dating where you knew you were in the doghouse and you tried to use music, whether it was somebody else's song or an original piece, to get out of the predicament and like woo a woman?
My first project is called Songs About Her, and it's literally about the person I was trying to get back.
And I was going to ask you, who is her?
Yeah, the first her is someone different, and it's actually I've been engaged twice in my life, and that was the first woman I was engaged to, and things had went wrong, and then at a certain point we became friends, and we would try to do things to try to speak to see if there was a light for us at the end of the tunnel, and I thought the best way of expressing that was making that project. And as I'm going making the project, things that started changing with us. By the time I got to the end of the project, it was like, oh no, this is an afterthought. Like
Oh wow. Yeah. Dang. Were you sad?
Yeah, it messed me up for a while. It messed me up for a while to the point. I'll be honest with you, I have to thank her because it's really why I had my first kid.
Oh really?
Yeah.
How that project. Is she the woman that you had your first kid with, or
no? She put me in the space to even allow myself to be as reckless as I was to even. Yeah, I went into a downward spiral of just the only way I can get rid of this feeling is by now indulging in the worst ways with someone, and I got with someone and I just gave them a side of me that I never gave to anyone else, which turned into the greatest
Your
love I've
son.
had. My son. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Now, the other album, you said that was the first Her. Now the second
First
Her.
one. Two, I was in the street a little bit. So the project was about multiple women. Multiple women were the inspiration. By the time I got to the end of the project, there's a song called Reflection
Yeah.
that when I started realizing I'm not really writing about these women per se. I'm really writing about me. I'm really getting into the makeup of me and the longing for understanding and the longing for acceptance through these different women that I'm trying to partake with. You know, I will say a lot of men won't like to admit, but a lot of us, especially with the type of mom that we have and the type of mom that I have, some of us growing up as the mama boy or whatever, we have this longing for women to take the place of our moms in certain ways. That is the worst thing ever for a man to try to do. And in that period, that's literally what I was trying to do. I was trying to find a new mama in these relationships.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I realized that that's just not possible.
Right. It's not. I'm
And
glad
then,
you woke up and saw the light.
yeah.
Now, do you ever get nervous about releasing music about exes? And do they ever know it's about them?
No, I don't. And I try not to say names. I try to keep things very vague. I don't really talk on personal moments. I'll try to generalize it in a way where other people can also relate. This last project, I did reach out to the person that is based around just because we use her image. And I thought that, yeah, it would be a little disrespectful to just do that blanketed without asking for the permission. And she was all for it. So that was great. That was a blessing. But yeah, I don't want to expose, just because it's my experience, it's also a shared experience. And I don't think it's fair to expose it without that other person being a willing participant.
Yeah. Now, how did you get into podcasting? You're doing music, you're writing these songs, putting stuff out, and then you end up on Budden Podcast. And I know that you guys have worked together before. How did that come about? And what is that working relationship like?
I've always had an inspiration for podcasting. Many people don't know, but I started a podcast in 2013.
What was it about?
Funny enough, it was literally almost everything that we do at Joe's podcast now. And we were kind of like the first of our kind. And funny enough, two of the people that were a part of it actually at some point were a part of Joe's podcast. Ice now, who is with us, and then Maul, who has now moved on and is doing Rory and Maul. So we started and we had that kind of brainchild of, I think this is where the landscape of media is headed towards. But the foresight as far as just the long haul wasn't there. So we kind of quit after about 20 some episodes and having to invest our whole money. And it was like, all right, we out.
Yeah.
So I always had the passion to want to talk and express and talk about different things. And then I think Joe picked up on it and he just had the will and the fortitude to stick with it. And I watched it from day one of when it was thought of and when they started doing it. And I moved to LA for about 6 years. So I was connected from the actual product directly. But when I moved back to New York, I would go up and visit. And naturally, he was like, yo, like, get on the mic. And then at some point, like, yo, you should be a part of the team. And a blessing without even looking for it.
Now, on that show, y'all get a bad rap for spewing toxic masculinity for hours on end. How do you feel about that? Do you agree? Do you see where people are coming from?
Of course. Yeah.
One of our producers, she shared a clip of you holding a space thing. That's the one on Twitter, right? And so they love to record clips of y'all doing anything. Like if they could get in your bathroom and watch you wipe your butt, they probably would. But we get this clip, and it happened shortly after the election. And it's a snippet of the convo that I wanted to ask you about because there's no video and we can't tell who is who. Now, someone was on there basically saying that Black women are the cause of all of these issues with Black men. And there was a woman on there, I think you were moderating or trying to maybe, the conversation, and he gets to talking about his child's mother and how he had a bad experience. And somebody says all it takes is one bad Black baby mama to leave you feeling like that, but your experience, you've got to have more experiences. Do you remember that conversation?
I remember it to a T. It was pretty recent too.
Yeah. And so in the comments, people are going in. I wanted to know if you could tell us what was going through your mind and how you feel, because some people were coming down kind of hard and they were saying that you and this person who was saying all of this don't like Black women and playing what I like to call the blame game about whose fault is this and making generalizations. And it's just like, well, do you actually know anybody who's experienced this, or are we just repeating things that we see people say online? What were you thinking in the moment? And then like, how do you feel now?
Well, I feel the same way now that I felt in the moment. And in the moment, I was holding a forum so that everyone can be heard. The young lady that was speaking, her name is Jonay, and she does great spaces on there as well. I've had many moments of conversations with her where we've had like debates of things that are the normal debates that we have within, whether you want to call it gender wars or that level of conversation. And I stood with her in that moment of everything that she was saying. I just wanted her to be able to also listen to the other side so that we can go ahead and have some level of discourse about the disconnect. I think the only way you can get to understanding the disconnect is by hearing it out. So when the guy started speaking, and I made it very clear on there, I didn't agree with anything he was saying. But I don't like shutting out people from getting their thoughts out. Okay. I don't think at any point he was being disrespectful. I do think what he was saying could be a disrespect as a whole to a whole community of Black women. But for us to educate them, we have to hear the thought. And I need to know what is this thought coming from? So, you know, when the other guy in there asked him, like, what is this even inspired behind? And he explained, well, you know, I had my baby mom. He said, oh, we got it. We figured it out. This is this and that. So now we can go ahead and say, well, listen, brother, this is not, that's isolated. This is not a generalization that you can bring towards the totality of Black women. The actual conversation started by a joke that the young lady made that was kind of negative.
Now, what was the joke? Because they didn't clip that part of the joke, and I was trying to find it, and I couldn't.
They never do. Right. I don't want to mess it up because it was a funny joke, but it was something very. It was something that if we heard a white person say about Black men, we'd be like, what are you talking about? Like
an inside joke that happened with other people listening in.
Yes, it was an inside joke that me and her, I could understand because we have a rapport that a stranger heard and it triggered him. And whenever people are triggered, I don't ever want to say, well, you're wrong for being triggered. He was triggered by a joke and he responded in the way that I think most people will respond when they're triggered, which was defensive and just immediately. And in order for us to even get him to calm us as a community, because everyone up there that was speaking Black, we had to go ahead and say, this is our Black brother that we don't want to go ahead and shut out. He might be a little ignorant to certain things. So for me, the biggest thing was I want this man to be heard. Just like if a Black woman comes up there and she spews any level of ignorance about Black men, I don't want to tell her shut up or be condescending or be like, let's hear you out so that we can help you get to a better understanding.
Yeah. So have you ever found yourself in a position where, whether it be on the podcast spaces or anywhere online, that maybe you made a generalization or kind of stuck your foot in your mouth about anything that you wanted to take back?
A lot of things. And I've made efforts to do that. When you're on a podcast and you're talking, to at least 5 to 6 different people at a time. I know most podcasts don't have that many individuals.
Yeah, y'all
So
got 500 people on that show.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting to be in that space, because when we think about just community and friendships, that's typically what the setting is. You know, you out with your homegirls, you out with your homeboys, it might be 4 or 5 of y'all, and you're having discussions. It's loud, you're cutting each other off. That's really what real life looks like. That's why I think the podcast is what it is, and why we're able to have a community of people who, even though they might hate the characters and they might hate the opinions, they still watch, because it really reflects their day-to-day life and the things that they're experiencing. So I've said things before that I've had to literally go on and say, yo, last pod I said this, I was off. Let me go
What's
ahead.
one that you can think of that you don't mind sharing? Something where you misspoke or just
voting.
have regret, huh?
Voting.
Lord, what you say about voting?
I don't follow a party.
Okay.
I don't believe in choosing red or blue. I don't know if that's considered Green Party, independent. My stance has always been, most politicians to me are not working for us.
Okay.
So in the moment where I did not like the selection on either side, I put out that I'm not voting. I'm not doing it. I don't want to partake into this circus. I think it's a circus, and I'm going to choose to withhold my vote. That's what I thought was the best thing for me to do. And I talked to a few people. I heard some people out, and I went back and I listened to myself talk, and I was like, you know what? It's fine if that's what I want to choose to do, but it's the wrong message to send out to a world of people who might be looking for us for direction.
So what did you end up saying?
I went and took it back. I went and said, no, I motivate everyone to vote. I motivate for everyone, whether you feel you're having to pick the lesser of two evils. Make a choice. Make a choice. This is not something that you can sit back and take lightly. And if there is a level where we ever decide as a community to withhold our vote, to demand something, let's do that as a community and not be separatists in that.
So when you came back and you said that, did you really feel it, or were you getting a lot of pushback so you wanted to put a statement out?
There's so many things that I get pushback to on a regular basis that I double down on, just so you can know how serious I am about that thought. I don't have no problem with sitting in my beliefs, no matter how ignorant someone might feel it to be. But I'm also self-aware enough to know that there's moments where I'm going to speak maybe before I thought something all the way through, especially at this point, it's my job to do so, that I can then go back and reflect and say, you know what, I might need to readdress and see what that looks like on a different level. So I don't have a problem with that.
Have you ever had a situation like that in like your love life? Like maybe you're in an argument with someone and my dog is so crazy today. She wants all the shine. I am working, sweetie. Have you ever had a situation where you're maybe in an argument or something and you say something that is either hurtful or that you didn't really mean and you got to tuck your tail and apologize? Do you take that same approach where it's like, okay, I can own up to the fact that I was wrong, I said something that I shouldn't have, here's why? Or do you kind of let it linger?
In the past, I was the let it linger guy. And if you show me that you can get over it, then cool. I ain't got to admit to nothing. Because I took admittance for something means that anytime you call me out, then I'm going to look like I'm wrong. Like I was the guy at a certain point, I needed to be right. I didn't like to have to walk back that, because I felt like it was going to be something that in the future was going to be used against me. Today, I have it. To me, it's that level of strength of being able to be confident and saying, yo, I was wrong. I have no problem in sitting in my wrong. And just because I'm wrong about this does not mean now it's a judge on my full character or whether I can process thought logically or have an honest feeling about something. So
yeah. Now, okay, I want to get in your business a little bit more with this love life. But I did want to know about the podcast stuff. Get that out of the way. Because, okay, so are you single now?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So you're single. Could you describe to us your perfect match?
Ooh. I never knew how much I needed goofy in my life.
Okay.
I need someone who's silly, goofy, who can take a joke, great sense of humor, um, shining personality, need confidence. I don't even want to mention anything physical because
Well, I'm gonna
I'm not.
ask still.
I mean, we
This
can
is
get to it.
this is perfect, and then we can broaden it up to
Yeah.
like if you could build a woman in a perfect world, what does she look like? Where is she from? How does she act? And then we can talk about what's actually
Um,
important.
she looks like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with, she looks like Vanity.
Okay,
Uh,
yes, I'm familiar with Vanity.
she looks like Vanity.
Okay.
She's from New York. She's goal orientated. She has a good relationship with family, and she is she knows that she's a great person, but she also understands she's not perfect.
Okay, children, no children.
I have children, so I don't want no more. So I would hope that she has children, so we can just do our Brady Bunch thing. And
What
yeah,
if she has 5? Is
it'd
there a
just be two
cap on
more.
the number of kids or
Well,
ages?
depending on ages, it also depends on her age.
Mm-hmm.
I do think if you're 40 and you got about 6 or 7, that's a conversation you need to have about how you got 7 by 40 and how many baby dads you got, and then different things come into different situations. But I would love to, and plus I got a number of boys. I would love to have a daughter. I don't think I'm gonna ever have a biological daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So if the day came where I was stepdad to it, I'd champion that. I would love it.
Okay, now to make it more broad, what do you mind sharing how old you are?
Oh no, of course, 41.
41. Okay, so what's the age range that you typically date?
I've dated, my last partner was actually 40. We were the same age. Actually, I think we're both 41. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she turned 41 right the month after me. The woman before that, we had about 6 year difference.
She was older
Um,
or younger?
Younger.
Okay.
And the woman before that, we were around the same age. I would like to, if I'm building home, now if I'm out here playing around, I don't think I would go any younger than 33-ish, 34-ish maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would have to have a really good rapport for me to understand that we kind of have the same mental capacity in certain things. But I'm 40. I want somebody my age. I don't.
Mm-hmm. So like 2 to 3 years up or down. You don't want it too
Yeah,
wide.
yeah.
Okay. Now, how would you describe yourself if we had to build you a dating profile?
Mm.
How would you describe yourself? What would you say you're looking for? What would you say you're interested in? And what kind of pics are you posting?
All my picks is going to be the most light-skinned picks possible. So it's going to
Eyebrows
be
up, wrinkly forehead,
you
side.
nailed it to it. I'm gonna give you a little
Yeah.
bit of that. I'm gonna give you a little
Uh-huh.
bit of in the workspace, me in a running space, just to give me different looks, just to
Mm-hmm.
show embodiment of what I'm about. Characteristics wise, the first thing I'm going to start with, I am affectionate. In
Mm.
multiple ways. Whether it be physical, emotional, being that push, being that cheerleader that you need, being that person to also give you I won't say tutelage, but just sounded advice. Um, I do think I'm a good listener. Um, but then I do know I'm stubborn.
Mm.
I do know that sometimes I can shut people out when I'm going through things.
Mm-hmm.
So it might create a barrier between me and my partner. Um, I do know today I present way more positive than negatives. I couldn't say that before. I do know
Yeah.
for sure I was a lot. I was, we did the red flag, green flag.
Mm-hmm.
For me,
You were a
I
lot
was
of
red.
red flags.
A lot of red flags. A lot of red flags.
Mm-hmm.
Today,
Mm-hmm.
for me, that's changed.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's changed. So I think I'm good. And I'm a provider in multiple ways.
What ways would that be?
Emotionally, I can provide. That's that emotional support. I've just been taught at this point, if you my woman, I gotta take care of you on all spectrums, physically, uh, financially, just
Now
all the
that
things
taking
that.
care of you financially part, this is
Mhm.
a girlfriend or a wife, fiance?
I think for any woman to ever feel comfortable that you can do it as a husband, they need to see examples of it before that. I
And
would
does she
never
have to
expect.
live with you?
I would prefer to live with my girl or
It's
fiance
more cost
before.
effective.
I mean, you know, I don't like the idea of playing house, but we need to know that we can actually live in here before we go ahead and just jump into something like that.
I feel you on that. Now the affection and the reassurance and all of the talking and touching, is that something that you give? Is that something that you require of a woman that you're dating?
Not all the time. Not all the time. Um, when I first meet you, if that's not you, and I've already accepted that, I've learned that that's you. So I'm not going to come here and say change that. Like you need to change that to satisfy me. Once I learn you as a person, if you tell me from day one, hey, I want you to know I'm not the most affectionate. And if I decide to move forward with you, I've decided at that point I'm going to learn to love and appreciate that because that's a part of your character. My problem has always been meeting people and them saying they're a certain way and then it changing at a certain point and then them saying to me, well, you need to adjust. And I'm like, that's not what I signed up for and this is not what I am. So uh,
Have you
I
ever
don't
found
require.
your Have you ever found yourself in a situation with a woman who's not affectionate or doesn't really do all of that reassuring, and she tells you this from the beginning, do you find that you try to figure out why she is that way to see if you can break down some walls and maybe y'all can get to that point? Because I would imagine if that's something that you like and you really want, it might be okay for a little while, but eventually you're going to want it again.
Um, I've tried to do that in the past, but my reasoning for doing it wasn't always for both of us. It was like self-serving. Like, yeah, why aren't you affectionate? Oh, you got daddy issues. Oh, you got mommy issues. Well, listen, this is what you should do because I need. It's like no, like let's work on you for. If that's something that you need to overcome, let's make that a thing that we focus on for you because that's the most important part. Like someone I dated in the past, very much so, not the most affectionate, not the most intelligent when it came to expressing their emotions. And when I started to ask and dig into why that was the case, I learned that is because they weren't really taught that affection from their parents. And I thought it would have been selfish of me to say, well, listen, you need to change that. Boom, boom, boom. So my result and my resolve was, okay, you know what? You need to, I think it's very important for you to express that to your parents. And you need to have that connection, or even if it's not something that you're going to get today, but just even feel vulnerable to even just express that to them. Because if that's what you needed and you weren't supplied that and you don't even know how to ask for it, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have the answer or the key to opening that door. Sometimes going backwards and doing the work with the initial problem or the initial start of it could be the cure. And if me and you don't work out, you'll still be able to have that in the next relationship.
Yeah. So, how would you define love? Romantic
Love,
love.
I don't want to say acceptance, but it's kind of one of the first things that come to mind. Understanding, s- uh, uh, um, wanting to see someone do better, whether they're attached to you or not. Just wanting to do whatever you can to make someone's life easier and better. Um, Selflessness, a level of selflessness. I think I've experienced that once in my life, and I experienced it a little too late to where I couldn't really repair the relationship from all the past trauma. But when you get to that point where you're like, yo, I really love this person, it's just like you know, I'll take a bullet for mom, dad, sisters, and
Mm-hmm.
kid, all that. But to have that love for a stranger, someone that you did not know at some point, is different.
You kind of seem like you wear your heart on your sleeve when it comes to your music and even just the conversations we're sharing, being really open. With that, do you think that it would be better if more men were more open and honest and vulnerable about their feelings so that we could stop having these circular conversations and playing the blame game? What do you tell people in your everyday life, like other men, when you see them acting out versus talking about how they really feel? Are you the friend that they can go to and
Mhm.
tell you? Or are you like, why the hell are you telling me this? Go cry to
I'm,
somebody else.
I think of recent, and I get clowned on it. I get clowned by my own friends. I mean, if anyone has watched the pod enough to know that whenever I've spoken to trying to tell men to be more vulnerable and whatever, I'm getting laughed out the room. Like what? It's like
Why
shut
are
up.
they laughing?
Um, it's double sided. It's one side of them, my friends, and that's just how we communicate and we joke. I do think that there's a real level of them just not believing it because they've seen me for so long be one way to think that it's possible that when you go home you think and think differently and you want to work towards changing and getting better, and sometimes it's like, man, I know you, man, shut up, like you good, like you good in my book, you don't even gotta. It's that level of, it's not a purposeful thing that men do with each other. It's just something that we innately feel like, all right, bro. Like it's weird. It's weird that we don't allow ourselves the space to grow mentally because it's just foreign to us. So it's laughable and
Yeah.
it's nothing to be offended by, but it's hard for men who know each other for so many years, multiple decades, to if I went 15 years being out of pocket, I do think it's hard for them to believe within the last 3, 4, 5 years that you've instantly wanted to change that and become a better person.
Do you still try to push them to become better people? Or is it like
Um,
an uphill battle? Or not even a battle? It's not what you're going to do.
I think we all do. I think we all do in our different ways. To be very honest with you, everybody that I'm really close to, and all the guys up at the podcast, we talk a lot of mess, and we are sometimes the gold standard of toxic masculinity. But when you get a chance to really be behind the scenes with us and really have an in-depth conversation and understand a lot of it is entertainment, everyone up there as men are good men, and they do a lot, not just for themselves, they do a lot for other people with nothing in return. And that doesn't mean just other men, they do it for other women, they do it for kids. I feel confident in saying that every person that works up there is a good person at heart.
Now, you said something like something about a lot of things are for entertainment, how things get played out. I get that. What is the difference between your regular at home, being a dad, being somebody's man, that person versus the persona that we see online?
Um, I'm very chill and relaxed at home. Like when I'm home or with my girl, I ain't doing too much loud talking. I'm cuddled up. We hugged up. We booed up. Our conversations are deeper. Uh, just the connection is different. When I'm on the pod, I'm there to entertain.
Yeah.
I'm there to get up, dance, get up there to laugh. I'm get up there to make the corny joke and not care how it lands. I'm there to be a punching bag if I need to be a punching bag. Um, I go into total. I don't want to say. I don't want to say. I don't want to say gesture, because gesture was always considered a negative, like a clown, damn near. But I'm the person that when I get there, I want to make sure that when you walk away from this, you walk away smiling or laughing or at least feeling something. That's it.
That's understandable. Now with music, you write these songs, you talked about inspiration from heartbreak and love and the things that you sing about. Would you say that those feelings are real or are they amplified for music?
Everything that I've written about is real.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I've witnessed it in close circles, whether I've been through it, I don't. It's a big part of why I don't have any songs about talking about really being in the club and popping bottles and expensive cars, and
Mm-hmm.
that's never been my life, my experience. It's never been something I've wanted to obtain. Um, Almost every song you're gonna hear is I've lived it, I've been through it, the heartbreak,
It's all
the
about women, pretty much. Whatever you were going through with the women.
yeah. And to be very honest with you, women, which is why if there's ever a point when people would come to me and say, you don't appreciate women, or you don't appreciate, like, I love women.
Mm-hmm.
And damn near sometimes to my detriment, to where I put my own growth at risk to impress women or
What
to
have you
obtain
done to do that?
a lot of that, a lot,
Like what?
a
Give
lot.
us an example.
I've been the person in the past that didn't have a pot to piss in
Mm-hmm.
and was concerned with what I can do for a woman and how I can present
Mm,
myself in a better light for a woman when I should have been more focused on myself. Um,
yeah.
I put the guy that, when I needed comfort, I was more concerned with comforting women. Uh, my whole sex persona in the past was I want to be a pleaser. For the whole notion of, I would never want a woman to walk around talking bad about me. And what if she says something to the next woman
That
is going to
ego. Mm-hmm.
the ego? So everything about me from my childhood, everything was circled around the women in the house. How do I make sure that they okay? And you know, it's a big part of my growing and a big part of my process. I owe women everything as far as, which is interesting enough. Women and my interaction with women have made me who I am today.
Now, what would the women say about you? Any woman that could call herself an ex of yours, what do you think they would say about you if they
I'm
had to
sorry.
summarize their experience with you?
I think there's some that might say, "Yo, he was a great guy. He just couldn't be committed."
Mm.
Uh, I do think there's some that would say, "Yo, it just didn't work out." I do think there's some that would say, "Get up off my phone. Don't bring this name up again." And I do think there's some that would take ownership of in ways they've led me astray.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a multitude of different answers you can get
Is there any ex that you would want back?
for sure.
How many?
One,
You wrote an
one.
album about her?
The current project and the next project that I'm full length is 100% about her. If I was dating someone right now and
Uh-huh.
she called and said, let's really make an honest attempt at making this work the right way, I would
Uh-huh.
have to call that person and say I'm out. I'm out.
Dang. Are you dating right now?
Not dating. No, I'm conversing. I'm conversing.
Lord. Well,
But you know
anybody
what?
who's watching
Okay,
this, if y'all are dating, be careful because
let me add an asterisk to that. We
okay.
actually attempted to rekindling, and I think when we did, we both realized that in order for us to do this would take a lot of personal work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we both made a decision. Like we both had that conversation of, you know what, we tried. I think it's best for us to just really venture out and see what else is out there and see if there's even another love that we can experience to trump this. And I think that's what we're both doing.
Okay.
So
Now, what do you hope that you're showing your sons about love and how to respect women and treat women without making those mistakes that you're not going to tell them that you made until they're grown?
the biggest thing I'm trying to teach them is to just first off just have a certain respect for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
um, because that comes across to the women that you deal with. Women will only respect you in the respect that you command and demand. And when I think back, I didn't really command or demand a lot of respect in certain areas. I was just happy, sometimes just having the title. So
Yeah.
just having that from day one, you command and you demand a certain level of respect, and just also when you give someone that title, really be able to commit to it. You can be the guy that if you want to date multiple women, you can do so. You can also tell those women that, hey, I want to date multiple women. You don't have to be the guy that lies and tries to trick people into feelings and relationships that you can't really maintain. So that would be the first things that I would really preach to them.
And then for you, what would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned about what being a man and masculinity really is versus what you may have thought when you were young and dumb?
Quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Quality over quantity. I've met a lot of quality women in my life that I gave no real chance and no real importance to because I was trying to add another number, and I thought that that's just what manhood was about.
Collecting women
It
like
is what
chains. Mm-hmm.
yes, it is what we are preached. It is what we're taught. Sadly enough, a big part of my early development in just being romantic with women was I wasn't even really doing it to have the real connection or the bond. I was just doing it because my homeboy Darnell just bagged another one. And how do I not go back to Darnell and tell him, yo, I got one too. It's very, very
What were you
egotistic.
doing to bag these women that Darnell taught you?
Singing.
Singing
and going on stage, trying to be as funny as possible. I found out very early that women love humor.
Yeah.
So I would go ahead. I'm gonna watch Comic View. I'm gonna tell that joke and try to figure out how to flip it. Trickery.
Mm-hmm.
I was a pretty decent trickster.
Now, what do you do to impress women?
I don't try to impress women.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten to the stage in life where I have no time to try to impress you. You got to meet me here, meet me flaws and all. I'm still a funny guy. I'm still a singer. I still have all but this is what you get. You're going to get complete honesty. You're going to get me as vulnerable as possible. And yeah, I lead with not trying to impress.
Now, do you go on dates? Or are you an anti-actual date man?
I go on dates.
What's like a typical first date?
One of the first dates for me, it's either going to be like an activity. I want to see how active you are, or I love jazz clubs. I'm a big jazz club dude. So there's a place out here called Dizzy's that, I don't want to say that it's the traditional first date, but if I say, hey, do you want to go to the jazz spot? And your answer is, oh my God, yeah, I would love to. Then I think we're instantly going to click. If I say that and you're like, I'm not really, it's like, all right, fine, we can figure something else out. But yeah, I'm big on jazz.
Would you be turned off if a woman asked you out on the first date or really took the lead? You like it?
No, I love it.
Has that happened?
It's happened probably too much. That's the problem.
You think it's because you're in New York? I hear the women are very forward in New York.
It's because I'm in entertainment.
Okay.
So traditionally, I've been touring since 13 years old.
Oh, wow.
So 13 to now, I just always had the moments of not having to do too much to attract a certain level of attention. So I was used to women finding a way to make themselves available to me in ways where I didn't really have to make an effort or make the first move, or which probably arrested the development of actually chasing, and seeking out quality women. So no, I don't run away from it. But today I would love to switch that a bit. Like I want to see a woman and have that desire of saying, yo, you know what, I'm gonna make my move. And it doesn't happen often today, but when it does happen, for me to
When's the
speak
last
first,
time it happened? That you approached a woman, or you
might have been a month ago, actually.
Did y'all go to the jazz club, or she was like, eh?
No, we didn't go yet. We didn't go yet.
Not yet. Y'all haven't been on a date?
No, not yet.
Now, how long do you like to wait from when you meet someone to actually having a date?
I would like to at least have a few conversations before I want to put you in my personal space and do all that. But I don't need a long time. I just need certainty that I actually want to. Well, first off, I'm not cheap, but I don't believe in wasting.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, like, because when I go out, I want to have a good time. So when I'm pursuing that manner, I want to do it, and I don't want to feel like I just went home and I done wasted $500 to $1,000 on the waste of a person.
Has a woman ever left a date that you were on, like just left, ghosted you in the middle of the date because she didn't like it?
No, but I've done that.
Now, wait a minute. Why did you do that?
I did that because, first off, the girl, I went to pick her up, and she was on the phone the whole time we were in the car. I don't like that.
Did you say something?
Nope,
okay.
I shouldn't. But we were on the phone. She was on the phone the whole time in the car. And I'm not talking about just texting. I'm talking about getting on the phone.
Voice conversation.
Yeah. It's a turn off. And then when we got to the actual restaurant, really nice spot, get there, and she's back on the phone, texting. Short little conversations here and there, but she's texting, boom, boom. And it's a spot that I've frequented before, so I knew one of the hostess there. And I got up to go to the bathroom, and as they're going to the bar to go, do something, she's like, yo, you don't look like you having a good time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm really not. She was like, I can't remember exact. She said something that let me know, like, oh, I think she's trying to tell me something. I think she's trying to tell me that the girl at the table just wasn't of a certain ilk. So
now, why was that?
I think
you think what?
I think she actually had a thing for me, and she had saw me there multiple times with,
So she was dry hating.
She dry hated. It was valid hate, but it was dry hate.
Yeah, it's like, you don't know this lady.
Yeah. So she was like, hey, if you want, I can, close you out. And I was like, you know what? Close me out even better, and I'm gonna leave. She came. At that point, we had only ordered a couple of drinks. Closed out, left, and as I'm leaving, I just text her. Yeah.
Well, she should see it. She had been on her phone the whole time. I wonder what she texted about you after that. Oh, I wish I could read it. I bet it was funny.
I know she cursed me out. I know she didn't do it.
Yeah.
And we knew mutual people, so I'm pretty sure she told
really?
Yeah, it was fun. I didn't care.
Nobody ever said anything to you about it later? That's a hell date. I would be turned off too if I was on a date with somebody and the whole time they're on the phone. Like, I could have came here by myself because I'm gonna eat regardless, or I could have been with somebody else. You're wasting my time.
Yeah, when I brought them wasn't cheap. At that point, I felt like the dinner date. Don't save me in the phone as dinner. I'm not food.
But even if it was a cheap place, it's like, you're wasting my time, and time is something we can never get back. We can make more money, but we can't get our time back.
Yeah.
You could have been doing anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Sorry that you went through that. Well, okay, we are going to move on now. I want to get some hot takes from you. I just looked at the time. Sorry to keep you so long. All right. Hot take on this. A lot of people will say that men are physical creatures, and that's why y'all cheat. What's your take on that?
I don't want to use the conqueror word because that's very toxic. We're selfish. We're selfish. We're selfish in ways. I mean, don't get me wrong, women are selfish as well, but we're selfish in the level of obtaining at any degree, women give birth. So the moment you intake another soul, another body, you've automatically understood, I'm no longer going to be selfish. I'm doing this for the greater good. No matter what's going on, I just watch how women are just in the respects of just bringing in life into this world. We never understand that. We never will understand that. We are usually always out for self first. So yeah, we're just selfish. Mm-hmm. That's all it is.
I can agree with that. Would you date a woman in the same industry as you? What do you think about people who do that? No, why?
No. I did that before, and sometimes it becomes a competition. Who's going to succeed first? Who's going to be the most popular first?
Damn.
I don't like that. I don't want that level of competition with my mate.
That would be such a turn off.
Yeah. And I want duality. I want us to bring different aspects of our life. Like I want her to be able to do something and put me on to that, and vice versa. And we can share different loves for different things and have our own separate lives.
Okay. And what do you think about people who post all day, every day about their relationship, and everything is about relationship?
It's a fraud. It's a perception that they want to have for the rest of the world. It's not real. No one needs to share that much. Like we get it.
I always wonder, when are y'all actually having fun if you posting pictures of having fun all day?
Yeah, it's
very performative.
Very.
Mm-hmm. And then the last one, do you think that Black men are unfairly criticized for dating outside of their race or having a preference?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Okay, elaborate.
I think love is love, no matter who you find it with, no matter what circumstances you find it with. I think as long as you're moving on that, I don't care who you find it with. Like that should always be first. Like if you're in love with this person, you should be able to move mountains with them, create traditions, break old traditions. Like you should be able to do whatever you need to do to make that relationship work, no matter what they look like, no matter what their background is. I do think there is such a thing as Black people, period, but it's a lot of Black men fetishizing the idea of capturing other races.
What do you think that's about?
I would be lying if I said I knew. I can assume that it's a level of feel. There's this thing where people are taught that black men have been taught for a long time that you Black, like there's nothing special about like you don't stand up, you don't, there's nothing about you that presents authentic in our world, in our space of importance. And I think if you're taught that enough and you believe in it, you'll start to try to figure ways to obtain things that you think are of higher stature, are of different look, almost trophy-esque things, which would be deemed, white women, Spanish women, depending on what area, that you feel, okay, this is what's going to make me look like a more diverse Black man in America. And it's farthest from reality.
Okay, thank you. Now, lastly, before we finish, I do have a question for you. I want you to tell us and our viewers and our listeners what you think the best or your favorite thing about being a Black man is.
Favorite thing? I don't know if I have a
or
favorite
best
thing. The best thing, the experiences I'm going to encounter, positive and negative. They just you get born different. You get trained different. You grow different. Your perspective of life is just more balanced. I feel like I've been saying this all day, but to me, I figured out life has really been about balance and finding that balance between positive, negative, good and bad. It's for me, my experience as a Black man has been both. And I've been able to take the good and make it even greater. And I've been able to take the bad and use it as things to fuel me to become better. So I don't think there's anything other than that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Can you let everybody know? I heard you say that you have another project coming out. When is it coming out? Do you know yet? Or are you still working on it?
I'm still working on it. Few songs away from being finished. I would hope to get it out sometime in March. I was trying to be slick and get it out in February because that's when her birthday is. So I wanted to be fun.
That would be cute.
It would be cute, but I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Dang.
But yeah, sometime around March. This is my first full length project in 7 years.
Oh wow! Well, congratulations.
So, thank you. And by that time it'll be 8 years. So, it feels good to just be creating again and wanting to create bodies of work. I treat my bodies of work like children. I love to create them. I love to put them out to the world and then love to watch them grow over time. So that project is called Songs About Her 3. It would be the last time I make a project about any woman.
About her.
So there's no more hers. Moving forward, if I do create, I want to be focused more on, the me part of. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that project.
Okay. And then let everybody know where they can find you and anything else you have going on that you might want to share.
Well, first, thank you so much for having me. This was great. I had a great time talking with you.
Good.
The Budden Podcast, 100%. Continue to watch. Please feel no need to feel like you cannot watch and still judge me or the participants.
Oh, I'm judging. Don't you worry about it. I'm judging.
Well, any and everyone watching, we welcome the criticism. We welcome the love. We welcome the hate. To the first time listeners, last time listeners, thank you. The music Before Her is out now, 3-song project. It's getting great response. Please go check that out. Catch me everywhere at Emanny Music, EMANNY Music. I usually try to respond to as many people as I can just to stay interactive, but I just appreciate the support no matter what.
Okay. Well, y'all heard it here. Thank you again so much for coming and sharing your views on love, life, relationship, and what it's like being a Black man and everybody telling you what to do. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening to this episode, and make sure you check the description box for links to everything we discussed here today. Bye-bye.